Hey, what's up everyone? It's Dave Dustin here with another video documenting some of the rarest comics on the planet from my collection here I've collected up. And I'm going to be doing this video about, again, the 1946 coverless comics. There are now 17 different issues known to exist. There were only 14 back in 2022 that were known. Over the last year in 2023, I discovered and collected up 3 more different issues that I had no idea that these existed until I found them last year. And so, talking about, of course, the coverless comics, 1946 Superior, also known as Century Publications. They came out with these comics that intentionally had no glossy covers, and they were distributed over in London, England by Streamlined Books. You have to watch all my other videos for a complete history on that. And let's get into what I discovered over the past year. So now there's 3 more of them. So in December 2022, I had this pointed out to me. So there's one other known to exist, and it was Space Nomads number 2. So what was known was Space Nomad Comics number 1 was published with a glossy cover in 1946 by Superior. But what was not known is that there was a Space Nomads number 2. So I saw that there was a copy of this, someone showed me, and then I went around looking all over for it, and within like a couple months, I actually found a copy over in the UK. So that is Space Nomads Comics Volume 1, number 2. Another one known to exist now. And then later on in 2023, March 11th, I noticed this on the website for 30th Century Comics over in the London, England area. And they had put this on their What's New that they put out every week. And it says right here, March 11th, 2023, British Comics Update, Quirky Corner, Rare Jack Bradley Comics, 1946. In reality, a reprint of Red Circle number 1. A real curiosity, at first glance a coverless US comic, but in reality a reprint of the US Red Circle Comics number 1 from Rural Home 1944. Printed in Canada by Century Publishing Company in full color, intended for export to the UK, where it was distributed by Streamlined Books, one in a series of such ventures. It was printed and published without an outer cover. The first page bears a 6D cover price. Features adventures, detectives, masked heroes, funny animals, etc. Very rare and virtually unknown. So I saw that, March 11th. So what is a reprinting of Red Circle number 1. So that's the glossy cover on the American first edition, Red Circle number 1. And it was published by us here in Canada, in Toronto, Canada, titled Jack Bradley Comics, 1946, published by Century Publishing Company, 2382 Dundas Street West, Toronto, Canada. Of course, that is Superior Comics. It was their first year of putting out a big long line of comics, and they had half of them without covers. And you can tell it's not a remainder. Here's another big example. Several of them have big changes to the black color plates. This one used to have clouds all through the background here. There's a white circle where they took out the circle from the black color plate. They revised the plate itself when they published this, and there's a black 6D price printed inside that circle. That's not a sticker. That is a change to the color plate during printing. So you can tell that this is not an American remainder copy. It is a complete separate printing. Jack Bradley. That's really cool. So I asked him about this. He said that he had seen one other copy of this comic back many years ago in a collection, but they ended up not buying the collection. And I asked him about all the other comics and showed him pictures of all the other of the 17 known to exist, and he said that he hadn't seen any of the others except for a copy of this before. So that shows you how rare these comics are, because 30th Century is in the London, England area, and for decades have been selling comics, and they've only ever seen 2 copies of this one comic. So another one exists out there somewhere, at least one other. And then finally, I saw a listing on eBay a little bit later in the summertime for Captain Wizard Comics, Volume 1, Number 1, July 1946. So, this only copy known to exist on the planet right now. Nobody else has ever seen a copy of this. And this is a little bit different than the other coverless comics in that it has a month. July 1946. None of the others tell you a month. They all just have a year, 1946, or they have no year at all, some of them. And another big difference, 32 pages in color is printed on it. That's the only one of these 17 that has 32 pages in color added onto the cover. And then also 3D. That's not a sticker. That's printed on. There was a square sticker on it at one time. You can see a bit of red in the corner that remains, and you can see the outline of the square sticker removed. It was probably a 60 or maybe even like a 1 shilling sticker. It's probably a 1 shilling sticker. A lot of them had the little round 1 shilling stickers, but this is the only one that has a 3D price. Like, that is a cheap price that was used in like the early 40s in the UK comics, 3D. All these other ones have 60. It's the only one that has 3D. So I'm wondering if maybe this is like one of the first that they published here in Canada and sent over to the UK, because the 3D price, that's really strange. In July 46, none of the others have a month. Also very strange. So, just as a recap, here are the 17 different coverless comics, 1946, Superior Century Publications. There's a Boogeyman number 1, Boogeyman number 2, Captain Wizard Comics, Cisco Kid, The Conquerors, Dr. Mercy, Firetop. That's another big change, is they took a whole paragraph out to put the word comics there. But it's not even in the title, it's just called Firetop and Indicia. Golden Lad, and this one, mine's missing. The Indicia, it was not overprinted for some reason. I've seen multiple comics like that. The Jack Bradley, just discovered. The Jinx. Mr. Lucifer, of course, my favorite, the first full horror comic published in Canada in 1946. It was a year before Eerie Comics came out. And then we got Skunky Shopkeeper, Snowman Comics, Space Nomads number 2, Splash Waters, Zora the Mighty number 2, and Zora the Mighty number 3. So, until next time, another one's discovered. Who knows how many are out there? Is there 18 of them out there? Is there 20 out there? I'll let you know when I find some more, and I'll document some more of the rarest comics in my collection, so that way there's an archive of them that'll, last forever on the internet, so everybody can know that these things exist, because a lot of these are the only copies, or one of very few copies, known to exist on the planet still. Really interesting stuff from up here in Toronto, Canada area. Cheers.